Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello. But what can we do for you? What can we help you with?
So I think my biggest roadblock is definitely finding clients. Usually, so I will get responses back, but they're usually no's. And so I know my emails are like being seen and being read. But yeah, I've had 2 discovery calls, but I've never actually booked a client. So
Okay. 2 discovery calls is good though. What kinds of numbers are we looking at in general, just so we can have an idea of how many pitches you've sent out, all that kind of thing?
so last month I sent out 33.
Good.
And so I feel like that's pretty average. I did take like a little break in like May and June just because of my other job. I didn't have time, but I'm starting to get back into regular pitching. My goal is to do more this month. So
Yeah, exactly. I mean, fundamentally, the very unsexy answer is that the more that you pitch, the more discovery calls you will get and the more clients you will get. When on your discovery calls, how did those go? Did you end up giving them a price for a project? I mean, obviously after the fact, but how did those go?
yeah, so one of them, she wasn't interested in what I pitched, but she wanted something else. But she couldn't afford it right then. So she said, message me later. So I did, and she was like, yeah, I'll get back to you. But that was last month. So we'll see. And then the other person, I did send out like a proposal. They told me what they wanted, and then they never got back to me. So
Did you follow up with either of them at all? Or okay,
yeah,
awesome.
I followed up with
Perfect.
both of them.
I would still follow up with the one who said maybe like, it's been a month, maybe reach out to her and say, hey, just checking in, again with value resource. But see where she's at, because it sounded like she was interested, obviously. Obviously that's not going to solve the bigger thing of pitching, but where's I going with this? Oh, looking at the businesses that you've pitched, have you pitched a range of different types of businesses? Have they all been kind of in one, or have they been smaller businesses? What's been the variety?
So first I was pitching like coaches, that type of business. And then I started pitching like newer businesses that were opening up near me. I found a website that like lists all the businesses that have opened like the past year. So I started pitching those. And they're like kind of all in a different industry. So
that's good. Yeah. So businesses that are opening up near you. So are those kind of more like mom and pop kind of places, or is really any kind of businesses that are opening near you?
Kind of just any.
Oh, awesome. Okay, good. So then there's some built-in variety. I was going to say if it was just mom and pop, you might want to expand a little bit. Because I think what Kate and I are both thinking about is that to just increase the mix of types of businesses. If it helps you to stay focused, you could always do, okay, like, all right, today I'm going to pitch from that list of businesses near me. Tomorrow I'm going to pitch types of, or I'm going to pitch coaches or whatever. And the day after that, I'm going to pitch, software companies, whatever. If that helps you to focus, but the more variety you can get in terms of the types of different clients that you're pitching, the better chance you have of landing more of them, just because they all have different wants and needs. I would say, but just before I forget to mention it, especially when you're pitching small businesses and especially like coaches or that kind of thing, you want to be, and you may have already been doing this, but be really, really clear with them about how your work is going to benefit their business, and say it to them multiple times. Because here's the thing, if you're pitching something to a coach and you say, look, I can do this for you and it's going to benefit your business in XYZ ways, which should mean that you're getting more clients or you're getting more views or whatever, it's almost a no-brainer. If you come to me and you say, hey, I'm going to rewrite your sales page is fine as is, but I know we can make it so much better and increase the number of clients you're going to get. You don't have to guarantee me anything. But if you say, like, I'm confident that we can change your sales page and increase the number of clients you're going to get, it would be silly for me not to hire you, right? Like, Okay. It's some people need it to be really, really spelled out for them exactly what they're going to get. They think, oh, I'm going to spend more money versus I'm making an investment in something that's going to earn me more money. So sometimes we really, really have to make that crystal clear for them in order to get them to be willing to get on the phone with us. And then of course, truly invest in our services. So I would go back and take a look at your pitches and just really, it's obviously not salesy, pulling out any and all sales. But when you start talking about the actual idea that you're proposing, really dig into how that idea can benefit their business. And then of course too, say, I also have a couple other things I'd love to talk to you about, but really digging into that benefit can help them immediately understand like, oh no, she's not just pitching a service. Oh, she's going to do something for me that's going to get me more money. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I really like that.
Yeah. And that's fundamentally what we do, right? And we think like, well, they're going to get it. They're going to understand that this is what we do and they're just going to get it. And they don't usually. Yeah. And that would be another thing too, is I would go back, sorry, Kate. I would go back and look through your pitches and just be extra sure that there's nothing salesy in it. Sometimes that stuff can sneak in just because we're like, well, I have to market. And it's that salesiness or even like a little bit of marketing that can turn people off and make them go, whoa, I don't want to be sold to. Whereas when we come in and we just come in with like enthusiasm and with value, and it's really on at the end that we say, hey, plus I have some other ideas. I'd love to talk to you. Let me know if you have time for a call. It makes people so much more comfortable with scheduling that call.
Okay. Thank you. I like that.
Yeah. The other thing I was thinking about this, the woman that you pitched that, hey, I can't afford, she said afford, right? Was it price thing right now?
Yeah, she had to like pay off something else before she could invest.
But thinking of those types of clients, if you get on the call and, we pitched, you send them scope, it's still, I can't afford this right now. Depending what you're pitching and what the project is, it might be to get your kind of foot in the door with them to say, hey, I understand that this is, how about we do this? It's maybe a slightly smaller project. And so then you can kind of prove, hey, here's what this can do for you. So to Nicki's point, going in with that value, showing them what it's going to do, or telling, hey, here's how this can help and impact your sales or leads or whatever the goal is with the project. But to do that then on a smaller level, if they're not going for whatever the original thing you pitched for. So for example, if you're like a welcome series, hey, totally get it. How about we start with just the initial welcome email? And I feel like I have some ways to dial up that open rate, to test some subject lines, and, hopefully also simultaneously getting them to click. And then that will hopefully help, obviously, the click-through rate. If we get more people opening, I have some ways that I think we can, really get them to click through and go on to the next step, whatever it is. Yeah. But so like getting in there so you can show them how great you are to work with, your thought process, and then that can lead to you repitching them and getting repeat work in bigger and bigger projects.
Exactly.
Okay.
Just something to think about. In addition, you again, go out pitching. If you're like, they need a new sales page, absolutely go with what you think is going to have the biggest impact on their business. But down the line, something to think about as you follow up and get on the phone or whatever, to consider other ways that you could work with them and help impact their business that might be more amenable to it with someone that they're brand new working with. And you can show, hey, I'm a great partner. I want to help your business. We're kind of in this together type of thing. Like I care about your business, all of that good stuff that they can only see by working with you.
Yeah. And I know I keep using sales page as an example, but even if you're like, I want to rewrite your sales page, it's like, I can't afford it. To Kate's point, it's easy when you're thinking like, well, email series, but you can even come back and say, hey, I've been thinking about your sales page. And I think even if we made changes to just that header section, because really if she made changes to the headline and whatever the header section is, she would start to see some impact there. And it's that same thing of like, oh, okay, I see those little changes made a difference. I wonder what I could experience if I hired her for all the rest of it too. Yeah.
Okay. I like that too.
Yes. What else was I going to say? It sucks sometimes. And there are going to be periods where you're sending stuff out and you're like, what? Why isn't this coming back? And then there are going to be periods where you send stuff out and then like 5 people get in touch with you from like 6 emails. The only way to kind of like to even that out is just to keep consistently pitching. And 33 last month is fantastic. That's great. If you can keep up that pace. And I'm sure you saw too, like the more you did it, the faster they got. So eventually you're going to get to the point where you're like, yeah, I can knock out a couple pitches this morning. And it's
awesome that they're opening them too, and you're getting replies. So
Yeah.
know that those might come like, if mindset wise, I feel like it can feel deflating. Like, okay, I got a response, but it was a no. Knowing that, hey, you know what? I'm planting the seeds so that they might come back to that pitch in a few months. Or by then you might have enough clients and you're like, I don't need that work. But knowing that you're kind of laying that foundation, you're laying that groundwork still, you're building that snowball so that when it falls on the other side, it's just, becomes this bigger. That's a bad analogy, but visually, hopefully you get what I mean. It's
the jumping snowball.
Yeah. You're pushing it up still, and then it's going to boop.
What I was going to say too, when because there just always are people that are going to say, no, you can also say, obviously I'm sure you're writing back and saying, nope, absolutely, totally understand. Have a great rest of your week, whatever. But you could also add on, if you're not already, add on, say, nope, I totally understand. Would you like me to reach out again in a couple of months to see if things have changed? Because you may get people being like, well, yeah, actually, you know what? Yeah, a couple months. And then you've got it on your schedule and you go, oh, okay, this is the week I'm reaching out to this company from before. It's even when people give you a no, unless they're like, don't email me ever again, in which case they probably suck as clients anyway. Yeah. It's never necessarily like a complete never going to happen, because business priorities change. People in the companies change. Someone before was like, we don't need copywriters, could be replaced by someone who's like, oh no, we need a copywriter. So it's a no now doesn't necessarily mean a no forever, or even doesn't even necessarily mean a no next month, Yeah.
I hadn't thought of that. I like that.
Yeah. Does that help a little bit? Getting you a
yeah,
little bit
that was
more?
super helpful. Yeah. Thank you
Awesome.
so much.
Yes.
I'm gonna go look at my pitches and try to reword it. So.
And if you're comfortable, post them in the group or bring them to the next coaching call
today.
Oh yeah, there's coaching call. I don't know if you're available,
Eastern.
Yeah. Bring it to the coaching call, and it's all of us, the team, are very supportive and give you supportive feedback if you're comfortable. But yeah, I think some tweaks that you're already doing a good job of being consistent. And the more you stay consistent month over month, I say with much love, the better results you will get. It will snowball. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you guys so much.
You are so welcome. So welcome. Like what you heard? Hit subscribe so you never miss a video. And if you're ready to take the first step toward becoming a copywriter yourself, sign up for a free video training right here.